Hello and welcome. So I am going to take a look at the do that again. The Observer's Everyman crossword. As you can see, this is the puzzle from the 28th of September. As you can see, there's a competition attached, so I do not publish it for a week. Clock is just ticking up towards 3 minutes. Interesting to see how this goes. I mean, I think they've been fairly reasonable in recent weeks. The Everymans. One of my friends has just done this puzzle and taken well over an hour, and he's normally about 30% longer than me on these. So it might well be a 50 kind of minute solve. I don't know. So there we go. Anyway, time to. I haven't set my settings up, I think, but we can do that now. Skip over. Don't want that, do I? Don't care about that. Right. Apply, okay, 3:09 the clock, thereabouts. Right, brace after every man's blunt. Brace after every man's blunt. Brace is 2. After every man's is I'm imps. Blunt is, oh, what's going on? There we are. Try and tab, there we are. King of Music, festive tune ending in carnage. Carol, is that right? King of Music, Carol. I'm going to leave that like that, I'm not entirely sure. Festive tune ending in carnage. What's this? Hardly ideal. What this suggests, kind of tense. There's no an ideal. Less than, satisfactory, less than. Yeah, there's a less than sign, isn't there? Kind of tense. Less than present, less than. Hardly ideal, less than. Perfect. Perfect tense. That's probably our rhyming what you rhyme with perfect, I'm not sure. So Carol looking good. Stage showing, among others, narrow is a rostrum, hidden word. Let's have a look at this one. Turbine component is a rotor, isn't it? See going round and round, yeah. It's a forward backward word. Rejected legal is a tort, I think. Trot in the red, yeah. Red's a trots for Trotskyites. Incline. Cunning defence. Incline. Cunning defence. Not sure. Okay. Duchess is somewhat could be a chess. Yeah. Hidden word indicator. Another classic hidden word indicator. Opposing but touching. Ooh, that's one of those. Is it a contronym? Word that means the same but opposite meanings. Maybe. I have seen something like that in the crossword before as well. Something like abide, rent. I can't remember. Abiding. Yeah, abiding. Not sure about that. Let's look at this one. Applaud heavyweight. He plays guitar. Guitar is 6 letters. Plays could be an anagram. Applaud is to clap. Heavyweight is maybe a ton. Not sure about that, but I'm going to take abiding out for now. I don't feel very comfortable. I don't remember if it's right. The memo can lower hiccups. Much appreciated. Less than perfect. I can't think. Maybe the memo can lower hiccups. Much appreciated. Thanks for that. This one across. Chooses new recipient for frocks. Must be some kind of dress, mustn't it? Dresses. Following study. Con dresses. Chooses new recipient. Readdresses. Read is to study. Yep. Readdresses. There we are. Totally destroys the abides theory. I think. I can't remember what the word was that came up. I saw before. That was both. New gradients grapple with. That could be an anagram, couldn't it? They're highly intense. LED lights or something. Gradients. Gradients. It's the right number of letters. Red. Something. Red. I can't think what else would be. I've got an eye. I've got a. I'm going to leave that for now. Let's go to Act Superior in Broadcast behind stage. Just need to move that. Yeah, behind stage. Stage could be a leg. Act Superior. Gosh, act superior in broadcast. Broadcast could be a sound-like indicator. Let's look at 9. Portray without limits. Vast tale. As all portray. Vast tale. Saga. Why would that be saga? I think without limits is saying take the first and last letter off of something. Portray is to show. Vast tale. Okay. Applaud heavyweight, he plays guitar, I don't know that. Incline. Rampant. Rampart. Rampart is a ramp art, I think. Ramp? Cunning defence? I think that's rampart. A rampart's a part of a castle defence. Incline is a ramp, and art is cunning, yeah. Okay, art is cunning, fair enough. This one, one might be first to consider backing resolution. One might be first to consider is to think. Not sure, don't know about that one. Red. Memo can lower hiccups tonight. The biologist was kind to rock. Biologist was kind to rock. That could be anything. Rock, tremble, could be type of music. Components of dribble where children can play. Components of dribble where children can play. In the play park, in the play pen. Components dribble, spittle. Feels like there ought to be a hidden word there, components of, but there's not enough P's really in the clue to get to that. I don't think Drenpler is an answer. Is Olympic Honcho going to read out agreeable message? Is Olympic Honcho? What? Is Olympic Honcho going to read out agreeable message? No idea. Plant contraptions. Is this the name of a plant? Contraptions for the evening involving job. Sure. Could you get merry in this inn? One could. Could you get this merry in? One could. Might be an anagram there. Could you get this merry? Readdresses. I would have thought readdresses is probably a rhyming pair with this, if anything less than perfect. Although less than perfect is normally the clue that you would rhyme the pair with 2 down. One could. Primarily, thank you, Ollie. H-E-R-T-Y, hearty. Can I even spell hearty? There we are. No, still can't get. There we are. Got it eventually. Bloody quantity that's seldom seen. I would have gone for plasma, but that isn't going to bloody quality. Sorry, that's seldom seen. The memo, sorry, can lower hiccups. Much appreciated. Tar for that. Opposing but touching, no idea. I'm just going to write this anagram out in case it is an anagram. Gradients. Gradients. Well, if it is an anagram, it's red. Something staying, tasing. Don't think it's red. Not sure. Okay, let's continue on from there. Dum. Well, that corner went in nicely, assuming Carol must be right, mustn't it? King of music. Carol. King Carol. King of music. Carol King, yeah, of course. The old 70s singer. Right, portray without limits, didn't know that. Trot was okay. One might be first to consider. Consider backing resolution. Don't think there's a hidden word backwards there. Backing resolution could be an N. Consider is to think. Meditate. Blue clue like this. Well, blue is down, so it's a down clue. Fair enough. Venerated figure and scoundrel agreed. Well, you'd think that's A or I. Probably I, Caesar. Agreed. If that was I, Caesar, I don't know that it is, but why would that be? Scoundrel agreed. I can't see why that would work. Figure is a number, isn't it? Moving on. Most of red wine's drunk. Okay, so that's not the anagram, is it? Red wine is red wine, increasingly full of tidings. Tidings are greetings. Most of red wine is drunk, increasingly full. Oh, the northern trees, hairy growth. The northern trees. Hairy growth. Three-letter trees, elm, ash, oak. Twist 21 products like this. 21 will be XXI in Roman numerals, so that isn't going to be. Twist 21. 21 is probably referring to the clue, maybe. 21 across, yeah. And I'm back at the top. Brace after Everyman. Blunt is... Brace after Everyman. Everyman is either I or E, isn't it, normally? Or me. Brace is pair. Blunt, repair. I think there's a pair of some impair. Impair is to blunt something. I'm pair, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Act superior. Is that an anagram? Superior in broadcast behind stage. 3 of. Is that an of? Act superior. Airs and graces. Air of. Broadcast airs. That's red giants going down there. Just looked at the anagram again on my pad. So I think that's probably airs, but act superior is to you have airs and graces if you've kind of got a superiority about you. Behind stage, broadcaster airs, stage is, don't know, put on airs, put on. What would that be? Put on stage. Yeah, you stage something, you put it on there, yeah, of course. Opposing, against. That's easy, I thought. Touching is against, yep. What's this then? Let's look at this one here. Portray without limits. Vast tale is an epic. What's portray? Depict. Yeah, depict without that, fair enough. This one, applaud is to clap. Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton. I said ton, didn't I? It's got Carole King and Eric Clapton, I think. More than, much appreciated. More than perfect. Something perfect. More than. Okay, is that an anagram? The memo? Can lower. Yeah, I think it might be actually. That's for count. THEMEMOCANLOAWER. Yeah, more than. Oh gosh, so I've got to write that out and cross off some letters, I think. The memo. What have we got? The memo can. The memo can lower. I've accidentally written the wrong letter. There we go. Right, more than. M-O-R-E. That's more. Than is obviously T-H-A-N, which leaves me C-L-O W-E-M-E. I've got rid of an E as well. More than welcome. Okay, more than welcome, less than perfect. Okay, so this week it isn't a rhyming pair, it's kind of a more than, less than thing going on, I think. We've got here, biologist, Darwin, was kind to rock. Was kind to rock. Is that an anagram? It could be, couldn't it? Dawkins. So Richard Dawkins, he's a biologist? Yeah, I suppose he is. Does a lot about genes, doesn't he? So, yep. Is Olympic. Going to read out. Is Olympic honcho. I don't know who the head of the IOC is these days, if it's relevant to them. But I feel that grid looks a lot happier now after 15 minutes. Venerated figure. And scoundrel agreed. Let's say I Caesar. That'd be an A if that was Caesar. I don't think that's right. This one down here. Could you get merry in? Could you get this merry of in? Of course you can. Right. I'm just going to move the microphone while I have a little swig of tea. Excuse me. Could you get this merry in? Well, in is a bar as a... Oh, what have I done? Just pressed a button randomly. I think I'm still on. Just check my recording's still going okay. Which it does seem to be. So, is Olympic honcho going to read out agreeable message? I mean, there's not a lot of fits there really. Well, will, whiles, wills, is... I concur. Why is that I concur? Is it a concur? Agree. If it's agreed, I concur. Venerated figure is I, maybe. Scoundrel. Is Olympic honcho going to read out a agreeable message? Wilco, Welco, Waldo. If that was of, could you get this merry in? One could. Is that an anagram of in? I-N-N. One O-E, O-N-E, C-O-U. No, it doesn't quite fit. Just wondering if merry was a anagram indicator. Could you get this merry? That's what 13 letters I need. No, 11 letters. Can't count today. Or is it merry in? Which is, again, not enough letters. Right, where was I? I was on the crosses again, wasn't I? After Dawkins, before I jumped away from Dawkins. There we are. Components of dribble, where children play. Well, children play in a playpen, but I can't have play in the clue, in the answer, sorry. Playground, can't be play, can it? That one, don't know. I don't know about I concur. I can't really see the wordplay if that is. Plant contraptions for the evening. Evening is PM. Involving job is a post. Contraptions for the evening. It is a job as a post. My plants are not great. Contraptions are not sure. I'll leave that post there for now, for no good reason really. Could you get married? I'm not going to look at that again. Bloody quantity, that's seldom seen. Quality, bloody quality, that's seldom seen. Bloody is a swear word. It's a rarity, isn't it? Rare. Is it rarity? if you cook something rare, then it's bloody. I'm not sure about that. Let's leave it there for now as that though. Look at the downs, done those. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's the one I want. One might be first to consider backing resolution. Well, it's normally the seconder, isn't it? But that isn't going to fit rampart. And rampart is pretty much certain as a ramp art. Recorder, riposter. I was to put that as a... Well, I'm just putting random on, I really. Responder. One might be first to consider backing resolution. Resolution is a... Okay, let's move on from that. Venerated figure and scoundrel. I'm just wondering if it's venerated figure. What figure is a 1? Scoundrel. Most of red wine's drunk. Got an R for red. Full of tidings. Tidings are greetings, aren't they? Port is a type of red wine. Pour. And the northern tree, hairy growth. The northern tree has hairy growth. I think probably it's not possessive apostrophe. The northern tree. Nash. Tash. The northern. Moustache is a hairy growth. I don't think that's really what we're looking for though. Wart. I thought we just needed a tree in there, which will be an ash, elm or oak. My thoughts on yew tree. I wonder if northern is just saying move it up, going. I don't think it's going north, which would be reverse the clue. Hairy growth. Wart. Would that be wart? Tea raw. Components of dribble, where children play. Children play at the park. Right, I'm going to pause the video and think to myself here because I'm just waffling a bit. Okay, I might have got a breakthrough here, I'm not sure. I just remember with most of red wines, and I think most of red is to take the D off it. And an anagram of that would be newsier, and tidings are news. So I'm going to put that much in there to remind myself that maybe that are, that it isn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's newsier because tidings are news. Components of dribble, where children play. Sons, children, son. Not sure about that. If this was plant contraptions for the evening, involving job. Cool. This is a 4-letter word here, isn't it? Could you get Mary in this in? This Mary in. Mary is... That's 10 letters, Mary in. One could. Not sure what word would fit in there though, really. Might or tight. Nice. Nice. Like would, but Can't see what the wordplay is. I mean, the good thing with Everyman is generally I can work out the wordplay. It's not always easy, but generally I've got some sense of it. Alright, back to pause mode. Okay, a little bit of alphabet drawing on this one has given me sandpit, I think. Why that's sandpit? I mean, children play in a sandpit. Components of dribble, S and P. Pit, spit, S and pit, sandpit, okay. The northern, it's tash, I think that is. I think that's a tash. The northern is saying take the T of the and ash. So let's assume that's a tash for now. Again, another one I'm not sure about. I'm looking down here actually thinking rarity is probably more likely actually, because a bloody quality is a rarity, and something that seldom seen is a rarity. User I'm not entirely sure about, but reservoir, could be reservoir. Reserver, one first to consider. Reserver. I'm assuming it's a res word. Let's have another look at this one. So that looks like it's a wards word, doesn't it? Contraptions for the evening. Hogwarts. So warts. Why would they be warts? Involving jobs. Involving jobs, sorry. Contraptions, so, yep, contraptions are gadgets. Contraptions for the evening, involving a job. Job is a chore. Okay, well there we go. Twist 21 products like this. So 21, I think is that clue. 21 down. Twist is to turny. Okay, like this will be it'll be a word ending in Y, so it'll be like as it does anyway, but like turny. It's it's just saying it's a Y ending word. Products are twist, turny. If that was a T for turny, and that's an R. What have we got? Two letters, let's either of or on, I would think. Of. Could you get this merry in? Of. Where have I gone? Of course, of. Or on. One could, on. I don't think there's anything else. It could be or, I suppose. Or. Just get through quickly, unless it's a bit weird. And op, okay, could, but can't think of a three-word phrase. So I think most likely it's of or on. Could be an or, could be an op, or some other weirdo thing like a French kind of phrase, like u. And I think if you could, then of course you can. Or something is most likely to get of. Could you get this merry? Happy of, happy in. Of first, office. Don't think office is in there though, is it? If that was 21 products like this. Twist. 21 products like this. So is that saying put 21? I think it's saying 21 across. Because I don't think it's anything to do with pontoon or bridge, or well, bridge isn't 21 anyway, is it? If that was a T, let's go with that being a T for now. Plant contraptions are. They can't be traps because I've got traps in the middle of contraptions. Contraptions are gadgets are for the evening. Night wears, night wards. I want a plant to be a, like say wart. Night wart. Is that? I think night warts are a plant, aren't they? Why would that be night warts? There can't be night warts. Arts are contraptions, maybe parts. Parts are contraptions. So job is a job, chore, post. Parts, contraptions for the evening, PM. Is that right? I think contraptions are parts though, really. I'm really not sure about news here even, if I'm honest. So, right, I'm going to put the video back on pause while I think to myself and have a bit of tea. So you can see I've chucked in responder, because the first person, the one might be first to consider backing resolution. Well, the first responder, one might be first, consider backing resolution. I think that's responder. Not entirely sure. I'm just thinking this is probably, is Olympic Honcho going to read out a Grill message? Well, will they? Will he? Will she? And I don't know if it's Roger and Wilco. Wilco will do. I can't see Wild O would be. I think that's Wilco, but I can't really think. I've been putting the C there because I was thinking of I concur. But I can't see what the wordplay is, if that's right. Venerated figure. So I don't know about that being there, but and I don't know if that's an R, do I? Of sound mind. Can't be of sound mind, can it? Could you get this merry in of round? Anyway, if that's responder, as I think it is, then that helps me hear a bit more. Contraptions for the evenings. Well, evening involving job. I don't know what this job is. Can't think of a job word beginning with which has got a W in it, really. Let's take those out while I think. I'm fairly sure that's Tash going down there. Or they don't like the northern. Oh, to northern. To northern. Yeah, and then ash for tree, so he's done that again. Which is, well, being thoroughly southern. That's totally caught me out there. Right. Works. Work is a job, isn't it? Okay, work is a job. That's going to help me out a bit. Plant. Roadworks. Contraptions for the evening. Plant. Contraptions, so we've got an S for the evening. So take out the work is that, so the S is the end of contraptions, whatever that synonym is. At least that suggests newsier is probably right. Although I really felt it wasn't, but never completely sure. Plant, I think this is going to be a plant of some sort. Plogworks, contraptions for the evening. You would think that has to be a consonant there, if it's going to be next to an S and an E. I mean, it could be an E. Flow works, I think, flows. Floors. Let's think through the vowels. The letters X. Don't think that's going to be a crew. Moonworks. I don't think so. Moon is a contraction of the evening. Moon's work. Mint. Plant. I'm just wondering if a plant is more like a factory in this case. Ironworks. Contraptions. Irons. I think that's irons, which makes this twist is an irony, I think. Irony. I think I'm going to go irony, so it's irony, which is like ironworks. Ironworks is a factory plant. Contraptions are for the evening. You do your ironing in the evening, is that what you're saying? With the work in there, fair enough. So yeah, just these last three or whatever to do. Not entirely sure about Wilco. I think that's what it is, but I don't know what that's. The Olympic honcho, Will IOC, Willow. Agreeable message, Wilco, Wilvo. I ought to go through that at some point. Of one could. Is it an anagram? What have we got? On. Well, if that's an OD, which I'm fairly happy with, then that can be a few things. It can be R's and L's, and could be a double O. So there's a bunch of things can go in there. Could be an N. Of or on. Could you get this marry in? One could. Of. So I'm trying to think of a 5-letter word that will fit there. Z something, O something, D. Or from that point. I did have a C, didn't I? See, I can't think of a C word there. Cloud, on cloud 9. Which is an anagram of in, isn't it? I think. Is it? I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go with that being I concur. Going down. And use your... Oh, I may have to just... Okay, rarity. So I think I'm done, which is about 43 minutes. I concur. I don't really... Occur as a scoundrel. And an icon is a venerated figure, yep. So that just leaves this one. I can go through this kind of Will, Woe, Wilio, Wilto, Wilpo, Willow is Olympic honcho. I think, you say Roger will go as a, that's an agreeable message. Will KO. Wilco. Wilco. Olympic honcho. Co. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Seb Coe, who is not actually the Olympic honcho, he's the head of the World Athletics. But obviously he did take part in the Olympics, I think. Okay, so that's about just coming up to 45 minutes for me. Right, I'm going to pause the video while I go through those clues, check, submit my details, and then I'll come back and explain, just check I can pass them all before I try and pass them all. Okay, right, let's go through the clues. So a brace is a pair, and after everyman, so put that after everyman's. Everyman's is I am. Everyman is going somewhere. Here, I am going somewhere. I'm gives you impair, which is to blunt something. We got Carole King, the old musician, did the album Tapestry back in about 1971. Great album. So she is the king of music. Festive tune is a carol, and the ending in Carnage is the E from Carnage. Right, chooses a new recipient. Well, you readdress the post or whatever you change it, choosing a new recipient. Frocks are dresses going after study. Study is to read. If you act superior, then you put on airs. Broadcast is airs. Yeah, air the TV show, you broadcast the TV show. So it's plural. It broadcasts airs. And behind stage, well, if you stage something, you put it on. A turbine component is a rotor you may see going round, so I think that's just referring to that. It's a palindrome, and they go round as well. Or maybe it isn't even, in fact it's a palindrome. I think that's probably what it's trying to say though. Get you there. applaud is to clap, heavyweight is a ton, and Eric Clapton plays the guitar. He does indeed. An incline is a ramp, cunning is having art, and a rampart is a defence, part of a castle, I think. We've got The Biologist, who is Richard Dawkins. Some very interesting books, worth a read, whether you agree with what he has to say or not. Very good, very excellent on his writing, I have to say. Very persuasive writer in his writing style. Was kind is an anagram of Dawkins, and to rock is your anagram indicator. Right, we've got the components of dribble. Well, dribble is spit, so the components of it are S and pit, and where children play is the sand pit. Is Olympic honcho going to read out? So we've got a sound like here of read out, which is indicated by to read out, and the Olympic honcho I think is Sebco. So Wilco read out an agreeable message. Wilco, Roger Wilco is what they used to say at the end of radio messages. Yeah, I'm not sure. He isn't really the Olympic honcho though. He's part of he's the head of World Athletics. He's not actually part of the Olympics, although he has won Olympic gold medals and silver medals and things. So in that sense he is, but he's not really. Right. Plant in this case is referring to a factory. We normally get plant for factory. Ironworks is a type of plant, obviously where they make iron. Contraptions for the evening is irons. While I was going through, I was wondering if there's kind of like curling irons, curling tongs or something like that, or irons, rather than just being irons to press your clothes with. Not exactly sure, but involving a job, so put work in there for a job. Right, this one I'm not entirely sure about, but we've got in one is an anagram, so that's the on N-I-N-E, so that's the on 9 part, and then we're left with cloud. Would be your anagram indicator, I think, for in one. To get merry, I would have thought it was to get loud, but that then leaves me the C, and I can't see where you get that C from. It's not there for a circa, I think. So I don't know if merry is you merry things, you get cloudy because you're a bit merry in the head. So I don't fully understand that, but obviously could you get this merry in the inn? One could, then you would be up on cloud number 9 if you're feeling a bit drunk or whatever, I think is how that clue works out. Primarily clues, so yeah, an acrostic of those words gives you hearty. So yeah, one of his trademark clues, along with the Everyman clue, which is for impair. Bloody quality is so if you get a steak that's rare, then it kind of looks like it's oozing blood or whatever. So it's bloody quality is rarity, and that's seldom seen. Well, something that's a rarity is seldom seen. The memo can lower is an anagram of more than welcome. Hiccups is your anagram indicator, and if you say much appreciated, then you say, oh, you're more than welcome. And that is a pair, part of a trademark pair with less than perfect. Quite often they're rhyming, but in this case it's just more than and less than, and he does that occasionally. Actually, just looking through, I don't think there's any countries in there this week, which is normally one of his trademarks, but we have got 2 musicians and a biologist. Right. If you're opposing something, you're against it, but if it's touching, then you're up against it. The wall is against the house. Gradients is an anagram of red giants. Grappled with is your anagram indicator, and they're highly intense. Well, red giants are some part of space phenomena. I think they're probably suns that have gone supernova and then they've turned into red giants or something. I can't remember the details, but yeah, they are intense because they're red coloured. Right, chess is a hidden word in duchesses. Somewhat is your hidden word indicator. Second class, yeah. Some is the major classic hidden word indicator, but somewhat is also there. And chess is a game. Rostrum is a hidden word in across Navarro's trumpet. Among others is your hidden word indicator, and a stage is, so rostrum is a stage, and it's among others, i.e. it's hidden word. So hardly ideal is less than perfect, and what this suggests, so we've got the less than sign there. So yeah, a less than sign is what that suggests. And a kind tense, you've got the perfect tense in grammatical terms, English grammar. Right, portray is to depict. Take the D and the T off the limits of depict, gives you epic, and a vast tale is an epic. A rejected legal wrong. So a legal wrong is a tort. So turn that backwards gives you trot, and Reds are left-wingers, Trotskyites, or trots. We had that a while back up in that kind of area, actually. One might be first to, I think, is a first responder. I think this is how the clue breaks down. One might be first to, and then consider backing resolutions. Well, you're responding to what they're doing, so you're considering it. So I think it cuts across. So one might be first to is a first responder. Blue, if you're feeling blue, you're feeling down, and a clue like this, well, it's a down clue. Venerated figure is an icon. A scoundrel is a cur, and that's agreed is I concur. Right, we've got most of red, so take the D off of red and then do an anagram, and then we've got wines, do an anagram wines. Drunk is your anagram indicator. And increasingly full of tidings, well, tidings is news, so you're newsier because you're increasingly full, you're becoming newsier. Right, the in northern is t. Go and shut the door. T is the, and a tree is an ash, and a hairy growth is a tash, as in a moustache. Not spelt like that at all, but there you go. Right, twisty 21. So 21 is the ironworks going across. Well, products like this, so things coming out of the ironworks are iron, so therefore they're irony, and twist is irony. And that's the lot. So there we go. Just coming up to 45 minutes that was for me. So yeah, thanks for watching. I do not think that was the easiest of puzzles, as I quite inadequately demonstrated. Got the top half okay, but the bottom half there was a bit nasty. Sand, sand pit. Yeah, if you can think of a sand pit as where children play, great. Wilco, that's a nasty clue, and I think it's wrong if I'm honest. But apart from that, and rarity, yeah. Apart from that, always nice to tackle this Everyman, and thanks for watching.